YouTube, what's going on? This is your dude in the Galactic Brew coming at you one more again. Um, I know earlier I did my UFC on Fox 2 predictions, but this time I want to do another video, another edition, more specifically of George's Logic, because of course George is my real name. And yeah, I just feel like this would be a good opportunity to do a video about this card, because there's a couple of more points that I want to make that I didn't get to make in the previous video. And again, my apologies if I went over some of those on these MMA videos, or some of my other MMA videos that I've done, but I'm sorry. I mean, sometimes it just happens like that. I mean, but if you all want to comment still, or if you choose not to comment, it's perfectly fine with me, but I just can't help, my excitement and my enthusiasm about the fights, and I want to try and make my point as good as I can. So if that means going a little bit over in my videos, and so be it. I mean, it's not like anybody's pressing me to any limit, or I'm on a schedule or anything like that. So just letting y'all know. But anyway, here we go. George's Logic. And it's actually going to be with all three fights. So I'm going to try to squeeze all three fights in here if I can. So let's talk about the first fight, Chris Weidman versus Demian Maia. I explained earlier in my predictions video that Chris Weidman would have to either get in half guard or side control in order to pull off some type of submission on Demian Maia, because as we all know, Demian Maia's guard is just as dangerous, or probably is the most dangerous, in the middleweight division. And everybody knows his triangle chokes and his arm bars are some of the best that mixed martial arts has ever seen. Now, Chris Weidman, on the other hand, could he somehow be able to do damage from Demian Maia's guard? Yes. Reason why? Because he's that big and he's that strong. But the only thing I worry about is, will he get his arm caught, or will Demian Maia be able to bait him into doing something? Okay, wait. Will Demian Maia bait him into doing one thing that will lure him into another, is what I'm trying to say. So, if I was Chris Weidman, if I was smart, I would either try to submit Maia from either the half or side control. Just saying. Now, as far as Chris Weidman being able to get takedowns on Demian Maia, that could be a possibility, because as I said again in my predictions video, he's the better wrestler in the fight. Of course, Demian Maia's wrestling is not good. I'm just going to be honest there. It's not good, but he's improving that. But I don't think in this situation, he should try to out-wrestle Chris Weidman. I think he should just use his superior jiu-jitsu background and try to pull guard, or cause Weidman to make a mistake that will allow him to go for a submission. Now, Chris Weidman, what he could do in the fight, and probably what I think he's going to do, is he's probably going to come forward, just like he said in the press conference, going to come forward and try to press the action by throwing combinations at Demian Maia, luring him into being vulnerable for a takedown. And I think once Weidman gets the takedown, I think that's when he's going to try to go to work and try to look for that submission. Plain and simple. Now, Damian Maia on the feet, as far as that's concerned, I think, like I said, he needs to be smart, and I think he needs to not stay in the pocket. I think he needs to be active. I think he needs to move his head, move his feet, and he needs to use good angles. Now, the one good thing that plays into Damian Maia's favor, if he wants to strike a little bit, is that Chris Weidman comes forward. And when you're a straightforward fighter, meaning if you come forward all the time and, like, you know, don't move your head or don't move your feet or don't use angles, that can make you a target for certain things and for certain punches or kicks. So I think that's one thing that plays into Damian Maia's favor, or favor. Yeah, I said it right, favor. Is Chris Weidman coming forward. So, for instance, if Chris Weidman comes forward from the start of the fight, Damian Maia can use that jab and then get out of the way. And then try to measure him again, throw a leg kick, follow it up with a right hook maybe, get out of the way. You know? I mean, it's real simple if you look at it. I mean, it's not that hard to figure out. But that is definitely what Damian Maia will need to do. He will definitely need to, you know, use the scientific boxing or kickboxing skills in order to get the better of Weidman on the feet. But you know what? I don't think it's going to stay there too long. I probably say the most the fight stays standing is probably maybe like 5 minutes. Then after that, we'll mostly see a ground war, like I predicted. I think another thing when it comes to going to the ground, I don't think you're going to see Chris Weidman use a lot of transitions or sweeps. I think it's going to just try to use his power and his size to smother Maia on top and you know, throw punches and elbows from the top and try to get Damian Maia to leave one of his limbs hanging. And I think once he does that, he'll probably grab one and try to submit him from there. So I think what we're looking at here is Chris Weidman getting his submissions off of openings, not just gradually going for submissions. I mean, he says that he's confident that he can do it that way, but I don't really think so. I mean, I think he was just kind of saying that, you know, to number one, draw some attention to himself, and then number two, trying to get in Damian Maia's head. Now we'll see how Maia responds to that come Saturday night. But truly, I don't think Weidman wants to, you know, tangle with Maia, you know, on the ground if he's in his guard. I don't think he wants to do that because he knows how quick Maia can pull off those submissions. I mean, like I said, he's a jiu-jitsu champion, for Pete's sake. So, I mean, I know Weidman is a lot smarter than that. I think he was just kind of saying that, you know, just to kind of, you know, make Damian Maia think about it a little bit. But, you know, it's cool. I mean, he's a confident guy, and I respect that. So, you know, more power to him. I mean, that's how you're supposed to be. You're supposed to believe you can win, you know, in any situation. So, yeah. So that's that fight. Now on to the next fight. And one of the fights I'm personally looking forward to, besides the main event, but first, the co-main event, Chael Sonnen versus Michael Bisping. I said in my predictions video that, you know, this was going to be kind of a survival of the fittest, somewhat, you know, because Michael Bisping has showed in the past that his conditioning, you know, has not done him well in certain fights. I mean, there have been fights where Michael Bisping has gotten tired. I mean, looking back as far as his recent fight with Jason Mayhem Miller, both of those guys were dead tired. I'm talking about winded after like the first round, both of those guys were just out of it. I mean, they were slow. Their punches were winged. They were sloppy. You know, Michael Bisping was getting sloppy takedowns. Uh, I meant to say Mayhem, not Bisping. Miller was getting sloppy takedowns, and Bisping was sloppy in stuffing the takedowns. So yeah, Michael Bisping's cardio is definitely a question mark, and it'll be interesting to see if he can handle the pace that Chael is going to put on him. Because we all know Sonnen going to come in great condition. I mean, we know that Sonnen can go all night long. We know that. But the question is, can Bisping? You know, and if he can, you know, he has a good chance of winning the fight. But, you know, I think conditioning is definitely going to be one major element to look for in this fight. Secondly, is how is Bisping going to be able to slow down Sonnen with the striking? Because we know that Chael's going to be relentless. We know that he's going to do anything and everything he can to take Bisping down and keep him down and rough him up, you know, either until the referee stops it or, you know, until he wears Bisping out. If he doesn't submit him by then, you know. So we know what Chael's going to do. So I don't even really have to cover that much about Chael, because Chael's basically going to come out, you know, bring the pressure and try to get Bisping down, and like I said, beat him up till the referee stops it or submits him, or just keep doing the same thing for all 3 rounds. I mean, that's basically Chael's whole MO. You know, now if he finds an opening for a submission, I'm sure he'll take it. I mean, you know, he's a very intelligent fighter, which a lot of people fail to realize. I mean, they look at all of the, you know, the talking and everything, but you gotta understand. You gotta understand. I mean, you know, in this sport, everybody has pride. You know, everybody is confident. You know, and everybody believes that, you know, they can beat anybody, and that's what Chael believes. I mean, I'm sure that's why y'all saw the press conference earlier today and saw him with the, you know, replica championship belt, because he truly believes he is the real middleweight champion. And I don't, you know, I don't hate that. I actually love it. I love it that there's somebody that actually has, you know, the guts enough to come out and actually stand up for what they believe in. You know, I feel like in mixed martial arts, there's a lot of fighters out there who really hold back in what they really feel. You know, and I think that's, you know, what stops them from doing their best. That's just in my opinion. I mean, you can't hold in what you feel. If you feel a certain way, then show it. Tell it. You know, let everybody know. Because when everybody realizes what you feel and what you believe, then they'll start to believe it too. And Chael feels that, you know, he can beat Anderson Silva and take his middleweight title. And a lot of people believe it as well. So, hey, there you go. You know, and you know, again, with Bisping, I mean, his confidence is sky high too. He believes that he can come and, you know, ruin this whole Chael Sonnen and Anderson Silva thing. So, can't hate on him for that either. So, you know. But yeah, like I said, Bisping's got to be in tip-top shape, and he's got to find a way to slow Chael down and stuff the takedowns, and somehow, you know, get Chael hurt to the point where, you know, that wrestling will be null and void. So those are basically the ways to win for both guys. So it's just a matter of, you know, who's going to survive, you know, who's going to survive the other person's skills, pretty much. And I already told y'all who I think is going to win that fight. So, there you go. And then, of course, we have the main event. Sugar Rashad versus Mr. Wonderful, Phil Davis. I said that, Phil Davis is not going to want to stand up with Evans, and I still think he won't. I mean, he's sitting up here putting on this facade for Dana White and the rest of everybody and everybody else. I mean, it's fine, Of course, you're not going to let anybody see you sweat. I mean, hey, that's the laws of competition. You're not supposed to, let everybody know what your weaknesses are. So I understand, but he knows deep down that he's not going to stand with Rashad. He knows that he's going to try to out wrestle this guy and submit him. And I think that's where he has an advantage. I think if he can get Rashad down early somehow and go for the submission, I think he can get it, and I think he can win. But in no way, shape, or form is he going to end this fight by a knockout. It's not going to happen. If it does happen, I'll be surprised. Now, that will surprise me if Phil Davis comes and knocks Rashad out of nowhere. But I tell you, the only way he's going to do it is just like how Johnny Hendricks did John Fitch. He's going to catch him when he doesn't expect it. That's the only way he's going to knock out Rashad. Now, granted, Evans' chin is kind of loose. It is on the loose end. It is. I will admit that. But, thing about it is, Rashad is crafty enough to where he won't leave his chin exposed. That's why he keeps his chin tucked, and that's why he has that herky-jerky, chimpanzee type style. And it's worked for him. That's why he's only been knocked out one time. Sure, Quentin caught him, but, they were on the ground. So, it makes it a lot more easier to tag somebody on the ground than it would be actually standing up. So, go figure. But, yeah, so I don't believe Phil Davis is going to punch anybody and break his hand. I think he's gonna go out there and does what he knows how to do, and that is out wrestle his opponents or submit them. And I think for this fight, I think he's gonna want to look to submit Rashad. Now Rashad and jiu-jitsu, I don't know. I've never seen Rashad submit anybody. I don't know how his jiu-jitsu defense is. I don't know how he is when he's on his back. I don't know, because he's never been on his back before. So that's a very interesting point of the fight that I'll look out for. But if Phil Davis can pull it off, we'll see what Rashad is really made of. And as far as Rashad's takedowns, we'll see, what it's like for Phil Davis to be in a sticky situation or precarious position, if you will. We'll see how he handles that. We'll see how he handles, with Rashad driving in on him and trying to take him down. And we'll see how good Davis's jiu-jitsu is off of his back. So basically, we got two questions to answer in one fight. So that makes it even better. So hopefully we'll get one of those questions answered. But I'm sticking with my prediction. I still think Rashad is going to be a little bit too fast and a little bit too smart for Phil Davis. And I think this will be a major learning experience for Phil Davis. And I think he'll come back and he'll learn from this. And hopefully his skill set will be a lot more sharper than it will be Saturday. So that's basically it. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this edition of George's Logic. Y'all enjoy the fights Saturday, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.